U.S. schedules first execution of a woman in nearly 70 years. Lisa Montgomery, the only woman on federal death row, was convicted of killing a pregnant woman and attempting to pass the baby off as her own. A date has been set for the execution of a Kansas woman who was convicted of killing a pregnant woman and cutting the baby from her abdomen in what would be the first federal execution of a woman in nearly 70 years, officials said on Friday. The inmate, Lisa Montgomery of Malvern, Can, was convicted of kidnapping resulting in death by a jury in federal court in Missouri in 2008. Her death, by lethal injection, is scheduled for December 8 at the Federal Correctional Complex in Terre Haute, Inde. Federal executions have not taken place in nearly 20 years, but Ms. Montgomery's would be the 9th federal execution since they resumed in July. Image of Lisa Montgomery is executed. Her death will be the first federal execution of a woman since 1953, when Bonnie Heady was killed in a gas chamber for the kidnapping and murder of a 6-year-old boy in Kansas City. In 2004, Ms. Montgomery told her friends and family that she was pregnant, despite having undergone a sterilization procedure years earlier, according to court documents. In December of that year, she contacted Bobby Justinette, who was 23 and 8 months pregnant, under the guise of wanting to buy a rat terrier puppy from a litter that Ms. Dinette had advertised online, court records show. Ms. Montgomery, who was 36 at the time, drove to Ms. Dinette's home in northwestern Missouri, where she strangled her to death and cut the baby girl from her abdomen. Ms. Montgomery then went home and attempted to pass the baby off as her own. Ms. Montgomery, who confessed to the crime, lost all attempts to appeal her conviction and sentence, according to the Department of Justice. Kelly Henry, an assistant federal public defender representing Ms. Montgomery, said in a statement on Friday that Ms. Montgomery has accepted responsibility for her crime, but her severe mental illness and the devastating impacts of her childhood trauma make executing her a profound injustice. Ms. Henry said that abuses Ms. Montgomery endured as a child, including being sex trafficked by her mother and gang raped by adult men, exacerbated a genetic predisposition to mental illness inherited from both sides of her family, including complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Few human beings have lived through the kind of torture and trauma that was inflicted on Lisa Montgomery by her mentally ill, alcoholic mother, Ms. Henry said. If Ms. Montgomery is executed, her death will be the first federal execution of a woman since 1953, when Bonnie Heady was killed in a gas chamber for the kidnapping and murder of a 6-year-old boy in Kansas City. Ms. Heady, with assistance from her accomplice Carl Hall, took the boy from school, held him for ransom, and killed him. She was the first woman executed for kidnapping, according to reports at the time. That same year, Ethel Rosenberg was sent to the electric chair after she was convicted of conspiracy to commit espionage. Ms. Rosenberg and her husband, Julius, were found guilty of stealing secrets from the United States' atomic bomb project to aid the Soviet Union. Only around 2% of inmates on death row and 1% of those executed are women, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. In April, there were more than 50 women on state and federal death rows, according to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. Statistically, the violent crimes women commit are less likely to be considered for capital punishment than those committed by men, because of both the nature of the crimes and public perceptions of women. Robert Dunham, Executive Director of the Death Penalty Information Center.